Hey guys, J0, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land. Ow, my shoulders hurt. Whatever part of the world that you are in. Okay, we're going to start making some buckskin. If you guys have been watching the previous videos of the working the hides, we started by scraping them, taking the hair off of them. We did one with the hair on, brain tan. This is what we have. This is just what we start with, a stiff piece of rawhide. This is just the skin with the hair off. Remember, we scraped all the hair off of it. So we are going to try to take this and turn it into something that resembles buckskin leather that we can use to make things with and be a little bit more productive with it. So what I did was I took one of these last night and I put it in a bucket of just regular water. I did add a little bit of soap to kind of help wash and clean it off. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to take it down to the workstation down there, the hide station, and I'm going to wring it out. You see how it's rawhide, and now it's loose and moist, and we can work with it. So we're going to take it down and wring it out, and then we're going to put it on the rack, but we'll just get into that here in a little bit. So first step is we soaked it overnight in the water to get it back to where it's a workable stage, rehydrated, and now we're going to go down and wring it out real good to get some of this water out, and then we'll go from there. So keep in mind, I'm not an expert. I'm not even any good at this. I haven't been doing this very long. So if you're looking for an exact how-to, you got the wrong dude. This is going to be a how I do it, and we'll see how well it turns out. In the meantime, we will finish up the video. So we'll see you guys when we get down there by the creek and do the butcher station, the skinning station. Okay guys, so we're down here. This is our handrail that we use to come down. Any kind of rail or tree or anything like that will work. And I've got a little piece of scrap wood here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of fold this over on itself into about thirds or so, so that we can get it. Yes, I know, Miss Pheasant Lady. Like this. Now I'm going to take my scrap piece of wood here. Like this. Kind of just make a loose sort of a knot at the end of the hide here so that you can run your wood through and get some good tension while you're wringing it out. We're going to, like I said, we're going to wring it out the best we can. This will help start breaking the hide. This will get all that old water and stuff out of there. You can see it start dripping. Just going to add a little bit of pressure to it at a time. We're not trying to rip it. We just want to wring it out real good. And I will do this a couple of times to get as much of this water out as I can before I put it onto the rack, like we did with the first hide with the hair on. I remember how we just put it on that big rack to dry it out and do a little bit more scraping on it. I do want to re-scrape these just because, you know, I'm not sure that, you know, I got all the epidermis layer off and all the fat and stuff like that, so I'm going to re-rack it and re-scrape it just to make sure that I got it as clean as I can, so that I can get all those fibers and all those pores opened up so that I can brain tan it real well. So anyway, now we're just wringing it out like this, and we'll keep wringing until we get most of this water out. Like I said, I'll probably take it apart here in a second and redo it and wring it out again until we get the water out. So step 2, wring out the water. Okay guys, so we got it on the rack. Sorry I didn't take the time to make a video, but I did it the exact same way I did the other one there. This one didn't, it's not racking up as nice as I'd hoped it would. It started to dry out on me, so I got in a hurry and got it done. But now I'll just take my scraping tools and my cleaning tools, and I'll go and I'll try to make sure that I have all of the epidermis layer off of the skin side, or the hair side, and all the fat and stuff off on the other side. Just give it a good scraping. And these areas that are starting to stiffen up on me, I got a bone handled scraper, and it's got that round bone right here. So I'll just take it and work it out till it's soft again. That way I can run my scraper across it without cutting through the hide and stuff. So of course we got to be careful around the holes. not to cut it. But what I want is I want it all to be like this here, the clean and white color of the hide. I can see a few places where I missed some of the epidermal layer here, and we'll scrape that off so that it'll take soak up the hide or soak up the brains real well. And this is what we'll do now for the next little bit, is just scrape it off and clean it up, and start getting it. This will help start breaking it up too, breaking the hide fibers to break them apart so that they'll accept the brain pan and be nice and soft. So this is going to be my plan for the next little bit, is to scrape it and clean it. Okay guys, what I did is I screwed my frame up here to my post on my back porch here so that I can get a better working area going on here and a little more solid. This scraper here, this part of the video is for Ricky Wallace down there at Wallace Knife Works and Homestead. Ricky, this scraper, it works awesome. I really dig it. I like it a lot. The only thing is I'm having to use it like this because of the cutting edge. I'm having to scrape it like this. So what I'll do is after a while I'll put it in my vise and try to bend it down the other way to where it's the cutting edge is on the bottom, and then I may even put another handle on it to make it a little bit of a longer handle so I got more leverage. But it is, you can see it's working really good, man. It's working. It's doing a good job of taking that excess epidermis layer off, which is what I'm doing right now, y'all. I'm just scraping it off to try to get this as clean as I can before I put the brain to it and work it real good and soften it up even more. But Ricky, I think you're onto something here with this particular design. Just a little bit backwards is all, as they would say down there, like this. So that is my only critique of this thing. I do like it. Wallace Knife Works and Homestead is his channel. I'll leave a link to it. He makes good stuff, y'all. So anywho, we're going to keep on scraping away. This is one of them things to where once you get started, just go ahead and do it. Spend the afternoon doing it outside, enjoying the weather, scraping on a hide, and here pretty soon I'll turn it around and I'll scrape the other side. This is the hair side, this is the meat side on the back side, and I'll go ahead and scrape that off real good too to make sure that it is nice and clean. I want the whole thing to be like a suede. It'll feel like a suede leather, but only stiffer. And that's where the tanning will come in to make it nice and soft. But that's what I want. I want it to nice light color and real good with all of the pores of the skin exposed so that they can accept the brains. I know it sounds gross, y'all, and it is kind of gross, but you know what? The end product is going to be hopefully awesome, I guess. So anywho, there you go. We'll catch up with you when we finish up with all the scraping and we go to our next step. Okay guys, it's been a couple of days, so I got sidetracked with some other things, but we finished scraping our hide. I'm fairly confident that I've gotten most of the epidural layer off and all the extra fats and stuff that was on there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take my little knife and I'm going to cut it right here where I got all these little holes and around the edges where I couldn't really get to work them real good. I'm going to trim it off. That way we'll have the nice straight edges to work with. And I'm just going to use my little Skinner knife for that. Trim it all the way down, trim it all the way off of here. These cuts won't be perfect, but neither will the hide, but that's all right. So this is what we're going to do. We'll just work it all around and trim it off until we get it all the way off of the rack here. And we'll stop it here because I don't want to bore the crap out of everybody while I'm sitting here cutting. I do want to try to stay as close to the edge as I can, or where I feel, if I feel a hard area where I couldn't get to all the way, then I'll trim around that. But I want to save as much of this rawhide as I can. And get it trimmed up nice. And then we're going to make up another brain solution to soak this in. Oops. Then we'll start soaking this in another brain solution, and we'll go from there. So let me get this cut down and trimmed up, and we'll get back with you here when we get ready to soak it in the brain. Okay guys, so what I've got here, I got just a couple of cups. I don't have any exact measurements of warm water, not too hot. We're not trying to cook the brains. And I've got about a pound or so of beef brain. So we're just going to add that into the water, and then we're going to use our handy dandy stick blender here, the emulsion blender, whatever it is you want to call it. And we're just going to keep pulsing this until the brains are chopped up and it's a nice solution. Again, if you remember from the first video, we want the brain chopped up and mashed up so that all the fats and all the enzymes and everything that's in the brain that tans the skin will be into our water solution. So for now, let me get this all chopped up, and then I will probably add another couple of cups of water to this, to where this little, it'll be a total of maybe 4 or 5 cups of water, a quart or a quart and a half-ish, somewhere in there. That way, we'll start feeding this into it as we soak it up, and we'll get to that here in a second. Okay guys, so again, we got about a quart and a half of warm water in here. The reason that it's warm is so that it'll help hydrate. Warm water hydrates it a little bit faster. We're just going to take our rawhide and just kind of roll it and fold it. It's not going to all fit in there at once, but as it starts soaking it up, then you can go ahead and just feed it in. As it starts getting soft, it'll start being a lot more pliable. And you can go ahead and just let it soak it on up and soak it on in there. And then we're going to let it soak. The first soak, we're going to let it soak overnight. So tomorrow, we will come out here, and once it's all been soaked up and it's all been fed, all in here, and it will fit. Don't worry, it'll fit. It's not that big. Not that big of a deal. As it starts softening, we'll feed it all the way into here. And we'll let it soak overnight and get good and hydrated. Then we'll take it and wring it out again. And we'll start working it. So we will see you guys in the morning when this has soaked overnight, and we're letting the brains do what the brains do, make it nice and soft and pliable. You can see that it's already softening it up to enough to where I can push it in just a little bit further. So just keep doing this until you get the whole thing submerged. And I'll probably put a little rock or something under just to keep everything in the solution and soaking. And then unless something really cool happens or something really terrible happens, then we'll see you guys in the morning. Okay guys, something cool happened. I talked with Uncle Buck, Buck Round 11, who is, as everybody knows, the master of all things doodly. And he says you can let it soak overnight, but it's not necessary. He said what he would do is to pull it out this has been about an hour or so, pull it out, kind of wring it out with your hands, and then just kind of stretch it and work it. And you can feel it, as you can see as I'm pulling on it, you can see it stretching a little bit. And what that's doing is that's pulling the hide fibers apart. So that way I'm going to stretch it and work it out a little bit, then I'll put it back into the brain water and let it soak some more. And with those fibers being separated, more of the brain will penetrate so that it'll be a softer, more supple leather. His words, I don't know, we'll see. So I'm going to just kind of stretch it out a little bit here and break it. I've just kind of touched it on a little bit of the disc blade here. Just kind of running it over there. You can see it turning white as it stretches out, which is exactly what we want. We want it to be nice and broken and nice and soft before we go to try to finish it or make anything out of it. So I'm just going to sit here now and just kind of break it apart, break it a little bit more. And I'm not going to mess with it too much. I'm not going to break it till it starts drying out. I don't want to do that yet. But I'm just going to break it enough to where I can see that the entire thing is white and stretched as much as I can get it for now. And then I'll put it back into, actually I'm right about there. So I'm going to go ahead now and put it back into the braining solution. Remember, this is just the brains in the water. Put it right back in there and let it soak for another hour or so. And if we haven't run out of daylight yet, then we'll bring you back. And if we have, then we'll just show you in the morning what kind of a doings we got a transpiring, as they say. So we'll see you guys here in a little bit. Man alive, I've been stretching forever on these hides, and my arms are just wore out, so we went to plan B. Hi, my buddy Seth. Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of child labor. Say hi, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
All right, now stop. Enough talk. Get back to stretching that hide, boy. Okay guys, so we let it soak again for another 45 minutes or an hour, maybe a little bit longer than that, and then we took it and gave it a good wringing, wring out as much as we can, and now we're just going to sit, and it's way dark outside, so we're going to sit now in the house, and I'm just going to keep stretching it and pulling it and working it until it's completely dry, and once it dries it'll stay this soft and supple after it's dry. That's why you got to keep working it to make sure that it does that. So now, this evening, I'll sit on the couch and turn on the Netflix and watch old reruns of the Pt.4, and then work our hide while we're doing it at the same time. So, and tomorrow we will show you guys the finished product without being smoked, but we'll do another video on smoking it. So anyway, we're going to do this, and we'll catch up with you guys sometime tomorrow. Okay guys, so here we are. It is nice and soft and supple, and it feels just like a suede leather should. So this is brain tanned. It is now brain tanned buckskin. We want to make sure we keep this thing dry now. If it gets wet again, it will stiffen back up on you, and you'll have to keep working it and working it. We'll take care of that when we smoke it, which will be another video. But for what I have and for what I was using and for the how we did it, I'm really happy with how it come out. It's nice and soft. It's really cool to watch this stiff old piece of rawhide that's just deformed and out of shape and dry and hard and stiff turn in to this. Man, it's really cool. It's a cool process. So, like I said, mine ain't the most perfect and most beautiful, but it's mine. I did it. And now we were, like I said, we'll get a couple more of these done. And when we smoke them, we'll do another video about how we're going to smoke them. And then we'll be able to start using these to make things with, any kind of hats and mittens and stuff like that we're going to make out of them. It is a cool process. So I showed you guys, I'd show you the finished product. Brain tanned buckskin. And we will see you guys in the next video when we start smoking these, and I'm sure we'll probably have videos before then, but that'll be the next hide working video anyway. So like I said, we've got a few more of these to do, and we're going to do them outside. It's a nice beautiful day. The sun helps dry everything out quicker, and it makes it easier to work. And you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for watching. God bless. The end. Buzz, the end.